What's up, car guy? How are you? Good morning to you. What time do you guys get up? Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you can. Wake up, you guys just wake up? You've been up for a while? Oh, come on, Lee. You guys been up for a while, or still getting situated for the morning? Negan, good morning. Hunty, good morning. Have you ever did truck driving out of state? 4:30 a.m. water pump belt. Huh? I'm lost, man. What are we talking about, water pump belt? Where's the rest of the comment that goes along with that? I go to work at midnight in Arizona, 4:30 a.m. now. Yeah, it is here 5:30 a.m. and I've been up since 3-ish. The baby kind of moving around a little bit woke me up, and I got up and just stayed up. I was like, you know what, heck with it. What'd you say? Oh, water pump belt just went out for what? Yeah, but what vehicle is it though? Yeah, I've done truck driving out of state. I sure have. Not professionally though. I've hauled some fertilizer and stuff out of state, but we won't talk about that. That was back in the day when I didn't necessarily do everything by the book. And being overloaded wasn't a concern of mine, let's just put it that way. There were times where I went out of state, no, not out of state, in state, in Arkansas, where I was hauling 95,000 pounds fertilizer with the weight and everything. I'm 15,000 pounds over. If you guys can hit that thumbs up, that'd be great. That lets people know that we're being active, and it kind of like shares the video out. Bears versus Packers this week. Bear down. 2012 Fusion, yeah, it sucks, but eventually they all go, man. They don't last forever. They don't last forever, that's for sure. Just like us, we don't last forever. There's gonna come a day for us all. I had somebody send me, you guys might think this is cool. Good morning, Rich from Ireland, originally from Tinley Park area. A little bit of car trivia from your area there. Did you know there used to be a Jaguar Triumph dealer at 115th in Harlem? Nope, sure didn't. I ended up getting a really cool gift from somebody on here. Napa has a good belt. I would suppose so. Lightstorm, I don't really know. Their belts are probably made just by the same people that makes everybody else's belts. Let's see here. You feel sorry for me and the Bears? Why? We're actually doing really good. I don't know why you'd feel sorry. The only people need to feel sorry are you guys. When we step off in that A. I'm trying to picture this now. There is 2 gas stations there. There's 2 gas stations there. There's a weed dispensary there, and then there's a golf course. There's no other buildings. Yeah, cutting up recycling. That's what I put in the title. Cutting up recycling this morning. Kind of a accountability check-in. Still, my weight's still down. I'm still working out. I'm still doing good. Still haven't ate any highly processed foods or any of that junk. No fast food. No diet sodas. No regular sodas. No juices. No fruits. Meat and green veggies. That's it. Bears have sucked for years. Go Jets. Did you get on here just to try to get under my skin? You know, it's not going to work. I think it's comical. A little banter early in the morning, get the blood flowing. Well, buddy, I don't follow sports like that, so I don't really care what people say about teams and stuff, and I don't get all hyped up with football, and you know, I like watching it, and I support my teams, but I don't get all wound up in the small talk of talking sports. It just doesn't interest me. So you won't get to me if that's what you're trying to do, because I don't care. I'll even say, go Jets, fuck the Bears, even though I like them, because I really don't care. Trying to clean up in the garage a little bit. Been neglecting it for probably about a month now. Been letting recycling pile up and pulling Christmas stuff out of from up top in the storage and stuff like that. So I got tired of looking at it. So I got it out of here. Well, I'm getting it out of here so I can have my garage back. Got the heaters going because it's super cold. How cold is it in Ireland? What's the... About 45. Shit, not here. I think it's like 20 something outside right now. It doesn't feel as cold as it did yesterday. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. But it feels a little warmer than yesterday here. Maybe it's because the wind and stuff isn't blowing as bad. Yeah, I typically get up early. I typically get up about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I come out, check in with you guys. So I do my morning accountability. Kind of keeps me on track when I do it. If I don't do it, it makes me feel off. And then I find something to do. It's about 3:38 here. I am at work in LA. I'm gonna go grab a new belt. Motorcraft is okay. Yeah, of course Motorcraft is okay. I would rather go OE than anything, but I also support whatever you can find that works for you. It's good with me. Sometimes beggars can't be choosers, you know. Sometimes it's whatever fits the budget is what you get. Did you guys hear? You guys heard about GM getting rid of the LS or the 5.3 liter and the 6.2 liter, going to a 5.7 liter and a 6.6 liter? Nobody? Nobody. Did I miss the chat? No. Nobody, you guys haven't heard that? Ford guy. Did you, okay, I got a Ford story for you. Are you ready for the Ford story? You ain't gonna, you know what, you can't make this stuff up. I finally found a way for you guys to figure out if the dealers are lying to you about whether or not they can service your transmission. I had this fellow reach out to me and he says, hey Rich, I tried to get my 10R80 serviced at the dealership. Can you guess what they told him? I bet you can guess what they told him. Okay, lifetime fluid, absolutely. Non-serviceable, I've heard that before too. That's not what they told us. Well, kind of, that is kind of what they told him, Mike, but I'll clarify. Well, working graveyard, they work all right. They're a little tricky. You get like thick boxes like this that are like 2 to 3 times thicker, and it struggles a little, but it's better than using a box cutter. You got to keep it away from the tail end of it so it doesn't bind up. Alright, so what they told this guy is they were like, no, you know, you can't service that transmission. We don't service it. And he's like, man, I see videos of guys doing it on the internet. Yeah, but you're not supposed to service it. It's non-serviceable. And he's like, look, I know other dealers service these transmissions. Can you guys just service my transmission? That's not a service we perform because it's not a non-serviceable item, and it's a we don't even, you know, stock parts and stuff for that. I says, okay, here's what I want you to do. Either I do it or you do it. Get on the phone, call the dealership back up, except push the number for the parts department. Give them your VIN number and let them look up the filter. Be like, hey, I want to come down and pick up a transmission filter and some oil and stuff like that. Can you look up the transmission filter for me? Make sure you got it in stock and give me a price and stuff like that, part number, so I can write it all down in my service, like documentation of how I service my vehicle. Oh yeah, sure, hold on, give me a second. They go look it up. Oh yeah, we got plenty of them. We do these all the time. We keep these in stock. Yeah, we do transmission services all the time. And he says, oh yeah, really? Then why did I just call up here and try to schedule a service appointment with your service department? And they're telling me they don't service the 10R80 transmissions because they're non-serviceable. And he says, I'm so sorry. I don't know why they would tell you that. They are definitely a serviceable item, and we do recommend servicing them. I'm not sure why they told you that, though. Isn't it funny when you catch them in their own lie? I don't know how many of those transmissions I've serviced. I still have people, how's the snow blowing? There's no snow in the, it stopped snowing for a while. There's snow on the ground still, but there's nothing on the sidewalk to even snow blow, so just can't snow blow right now. I like doing it though, especially with the new gadgets that I have. It just amazes me the amount of lies that these people come up with. And I've made so much money working and servicing these transmissions. I've gotten so good at them, I'm really fast at them. So there's people that would rather come to me than even go to the dealership because the dealership is so phony with the information they're putting out about servicing these transmissions. The lies never stop, though, you know? Never stop. You never know what you're going to get. Yeah, I find it hilarious. You know what I want to do is I want to make a video or a video series calling each Ford dealership up that I can think of or that I can find, and asking them and making a video saying, hey, here's the Ford dealers that will actually service your transmission, that will actually give you good customer service and service your vehicle, and then call them up and record the conversation of them telling me they don't service them and it's a non-serviceable unit, and then call the parts department up and ask the parts department if they stock the filters and stuff because it is a serviceable unit, and put them on blast. I feel like that's something that somebody should do, because not enough of these people are being held accountable for why they're doing it. Why would you lie? Why would you turn away money? Why would you not service a transmission? I bet you the owner of that dealership, if they found out you were turning away services that can be done, that they can make money on, you wouldn't be working there. Yeah, but that's not it, Patriot, though. That's not why they don't do it. I mean, a little I can understand, but that ain't it. That's not the answer to why. And that's not even the answer to any of the scenario that I just gave. It's not. It's just flat out not. You talk to one person in the service department and they say we don't service them. You talk to another person in the service department and they'll tell you that they do service them. So that ain't the case. How's what truck? My truck? I got a couple trucks. Sounds like the Nissan Maxima with the service in the transmission, and they have a small filter on the side of the transmission. I'm good at them. Change a lot of them. Yeah, exactly. There is a small filter on the side of the transmission. The fluid does need to be serviced, and I find that a lot of people that talk trash about the CVT transmission, and trust me, I'm one of them people. I don't like them. I think they're ridiculous. If you service the fluid in that transmission, it will last 2 to 3 times longer than what you're normally used to seeing when they fail on people early. 60, 70,000 miles. Service the fluid in it. The fluid can be serviced. That goes a long way, and people still don't do it. Every 25,000 pan drop and filter change. I have aux trans coolers, 170 degree summer. Cooks the fluid, 6R80 and 10R80 Raptor. Yeah. I mean, I do mine because I'm not real hard on mine, and we don't live in a super hot climate here, so I do mine every 40,000, but and there's a lot of times I won't even do the filter because, like I said, every other 40 I do the filter because I change the fluid when it's still good, and the trans doesn't have the wear issues that some of the other people experience. I just don't have those problems. But I have seen quite a few people lately. They've had 6R80s that they haven't serviced ever. 140, 150,000 miles, 200,000 miles is still running shift like they're brand new. There's a fella next door. He's a senior tech at the Mazda dealer, and I had to ask him a Mazda question. And I said, hey, I got I got a friend that's got a bunch of lean codes set in the computer on his Mazda 5. It's a 2012 Mazda 5 with a 2.5 liter. And he had mass airflow codes set at first. And then he changed the mass airflow sensor to an AutoZone Duralast mass airflow. It's like a cheap $80 one. And I know the factory ones are anywhere from like $250 to $350 depending on where you get them. You might be able to get, you can get actually an OE, Denso makes them for Mazda. You can get a Denso branded instead of a Mazda branded sensor, which is the same thing, but it's like 150, 160. And he changed the mass airflow sensor on his Mazda 5. It's like crossovers between like a sedan and an SUV, looks like a smaller minivan. And he said, if you guys don't mind, hit that thumbs up, those of you that are here that haven't done it yet. And he called me up and said I had a mass airflow code, and I changed out the mass airflow sensor. And now, after changing out the mass airflow sensor, I've got all these stalling issues, and I've got a PO171 System 2 lane code and all this. And I said, yeah, it's probably because you put that Duralast aftermarket sensor in there. Don't put that, I told you before you even put that in there, before you even went and bought the thing, you didn't listen to me. I was the first one that ever worked on this guy's cars where he didn't take it to a shop. I was doing mobile work, and I used to go work on this guy's cars. I fixed all his stuff. I took care of him and his family. He actually met me in AutoZone, and I walked him through a problem that he was having with the fans being stuck on all the time. And I went online, I printed out a wiring schematic for his fan circuitry, and I said, yeah, on those older Toyota Camrys, when you shut them off, it looks like the only thing that would keep that fan running is you got a main power supply to the fan relay, and then you have a ground that goes to it, and then you have a feed circuit from the fuse box. No, you have a ground constantly to it, a power supply going to the fan, and then a ground to the relay. I think what ended up happening is, by looking at your schematic, if you've got the key off, that contact inside that relay is stuck and it's not releasing, and it's constantly sending power through as if the fan needs to stay on. So if I was you, I'd go back home, open my hood, let it cool down a little bit, give it 30 seconds, a minute, see if it shuts off. If it doesn't shut off, take like a screwdriver and just tap the fan relay. Look underneath the fuse cover and you'll see the fan relay. It's a special relay. It's like a $50, $60 relay. It's actually just like all the other relays, but Toyota has it colored like red or something like that. Tap that relay and see if the fan shut off. And sure enough, he went and tapped it, and he was like, oh my God, the fan shut off. And I said, yeah, you need a new relay. That's how me and this guy met. I first diagnosed an issue that went to the shop multiple times and they couldn't diagnose it. And I was just a red shirt at AutoZone and a maintenance manager at ServiceMaster at the time. And I had a fleet of like 30 cars.
and 20 pieces of equipment that I had to maintain, and I had 2 employees that worked for me, and I diagnosed this basically on the fly. That's how I met this guy. It was an older Toyota Camry, like a 99 or something like that, 2000, 2001, somewhere in there. And I told him, I said, you've trusted me for years. Why would you go against what I recommend now? I don't know. I was just being worried and indecisive. It's been years since we've, done business with each other, and I'm trying to save money instead of buying a $200 and some sensor. And I was like, well, unfortunately, sometimes you have to pay the cost to have good shit that works. And you used a Duralast sensor, and I think you got bit by it. So you didn't have these codes before. It wasn't stalling out and stuff before, but now all of a sudden it is stalling out, and you've got this lean code. It's probably because that sensor is not measuring the air density and stuff and reporting back correctly. And what's going on is it can't correct for what it thinks it needs to correct for. So if you have a lean condition, you should be able to go in your short-term fuel trim and your long-term fuel trim and see that it's constantly trying to add fuel, and it can't add enough fuel to fix the lean condition. Or there's only a couple possibilities. You're going to have a leak on the intake side, which would be the air filter box, the tube going to it. One of the connections that attach to that are broken and sucking air. There could be a connection around the yeah, his was, I think he said his was directional. It had to be, I already asked that question. It could only go in one way. Now where was I at? Anyway, it could be on the air filter, the inlet tube, any of the connections to that. Could be something wrong with the PCV system, sucking raw air back in, something to that extent. Or it could be an exhaust crack or leak somewhere that's sucking air in, and it's passing past the oxygen sensor upstream, and it's making it think that it's actually a lot leaner than what it is, because it's bringing in a false reading of air that's not being monitored by the mass airflow. So the computer's trying to correct for it, and it can't correct for it. Or there could be a plugged injector or something like that, or a super low fuel pressure where the vehicle's just barely running. But I suspect, all those conditions thrown out, I would have put a Mazda or a Denso mass airflow sensor in there, and that's what I would have done to fix the problem. And then I think he called one of the local shops as well to see if he can get it in there, and they said the same thing. Why did you put a Duralast mass airflow sensor on there? I would have never done that. I would have put a Mazda or a Denso sensor in there. Then he called the dealership up and asked who makes the sensors for, and the dealership told him it's a Denso sensor. It just has a Mazda stamping on it. Then he found the Mazda or the Denso mass airflow, and it's like 150, 160 bucks, and that's the one I would have got. The shop told him the same thing. I almost guarantee that mass airflow sensor, if that code wasn't there before, is exactly what's causing this problem. Pritzker, I'm not sure. I can't click on the links and stuff while I'm here, but I can tell you that this morning I saw the governor of Illinois signed a bill, HB 727 or 767 or something like that, where it gives the state, it cuts the government out of making or trying to look out for our medical recommendations and stuff. It cuts them out and basically allows the state of Illinois to make the medical decisions for us, not us, not the federal government, but the state of Illinois gets to make our decisions for us on what is and what should and what shouldn't. And he did all that sneakily without people knowing. Personally, I think the guy's a scumbag. I hate him. Using Redline fuel treatment in my 2000 Tacoma 3RZ. How often should I use it? I don't know what they recommend, but I think they actually say you can put it in every tank fill up if you want. Alright. For now, the recycling is done. I need to find a spot to put a box of lawn stuff. Oh, I need my scrapers. Huh. Gotta get the snow scrapers out from last year. I didn't pull those out yet, and I'm trying to find a spot to put a box lawn crap. I think I found a spot over here. All right. Maybe I could finally sit down for a second and drink my coffee. Let me sit down here for just a second. Sit down, drink my coffee, and get a quick little workout in. Hey. Top of the morning to you. The turbo manifolds on my, what'd you say?
Just did the turbo manifolds on my 1435. That was a lot of fun. Slightly upgraded turbos, billet wheel, large back housing, tubes for it. Yeah, I've done one. I did one with upgraded turbos and stuff like that, and the truck was supposed to make about 550, 560 horsepower with the upgraded turbos. Manifolds, swapped it out to a Raptor exhaust, did the whole 9 yards, and the guy drove it like 200 or 300 miles and blew the seals out of the turbo. Was pissing oil out the exhaust. He didn't want to pay me to take it all back apart again to send the turbos back to the aftermarket company. And I said, I'm not warranting that out. I didn't make those turbos, and it was customer supplied parts. You can take care of that yourself, or you can find somebody else to do the work. I ain't doing it for you. So you either pay me, and we'll be all right, and I'll do the work again, or you can go to somebody else and waste their time. What are your thoughts on hub-centric wheel spacers? I installed the 25mm set and torqued the spec all the way around on my 16 Mustang GT with 19-inch wheels. Looks great. I mean, they're all right, man. Let's face it. Anytime you take wheel spacers and you put it on a car and you move the wheels further out, you're actually putting more stress on the actual critical points of how the vehicle connects everything together, right? But is it really all that much of a big deal? No, it's not. These guys have driven these vehicles for years that way. You have to make sure the hub-centric ring is put on properly. You have to make sure it's torqued properly, and then all the manufacturer's specs are followed, and you'll be fine. I've used them before. I'm not going to lie. I've used them. Drinking Monster energy drinks while ordering robot parts while listening to me. Well, I feel special. I feel super special. Good morning, Metal. It's supposed to. Patriot, sure. Anytime you modify anything that's set up that changes the way the vehicle reacts to things, while it's under bumper-to-bumper warranty, yeah, it does. It voids the warranty. You're tempted to get a 12 Mazda 3 for 8K, 55,000 miles, built engine, lots of upgrade, 550 horsepower to the wheels. That's a mean little car right there. We were just talking about them the other day, and they were like, there are very few Mazdas that impress people, and I think the guy brought something up around that time frame, around that year range, and he said then you could build them and they would last, and they were so fun to drive. I tell you what, that Toyota, that GR4 that I just had in the shop, we still have, we had a guy come look at it, and he says, can I talk to the mechanic that inspected the vehicle and stuff? So they got me, and they said, can you come in here and talk to this customer? So I went into the sales office and I talked to him, and he said, were there any upgrades or anything like that? And I said, well, it had some kind of carbon fiber coverings over the cold air intake that comes on the car, I think from the factory. So they just spiffed that up and made it look nicer. They don't fit quite super tight, but they're there, they're secured. And then underneath they pulled the fabric belly pan off of it, and they put a aluminum belly pan on it, a little upgrade. And then if you look at the top of the shifter, instead of it saying reverse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it says it's all in Chinese writing. So it still says that, but it's in Chinese writing. And he was like, did that come from the factory that way with a Chinese like engraved shifter? And I was like, honestly, probably not, but I don't know as well. I just know that reverse is either here or here or here. And that's it. I've never seen reverse, or it's in one of the corners shifted over to the side. It's never been in the middle. So Chinese writing or not, I kind of just figured it out right away that it was probably going to be standard reverses. Pull up on the collar, shift to the side, go up, and that's reverse. That's exactly what it was.
Excuse me. I have stock turbos for the rebuild now. Exhaust is next. I have a complete Bassani cat back for it. I'm going to fix my Ranger first. Vent exhaust valve on cylinder 2. New heads just came in. You know what? You're not the first person recently that has said something about Ranger heads. And I don't understand why I'm seeing this increase all of a sudden in people talking about valves in the Ranger heads. I don't know. I've never really seen that type of problem up until recently, to be honest with you. Are there any Ford parts that are interchangeable with the Mazda 3 parts? Oh, I'm sure there are, but I mean, I don't really know. I didn't really get into all that stuff back then. I actually wasn't even working for Ford back then. But I had some guy, he was like, hey, can I ask you some questions? And I said, well, sure, you can ask me some questions. Yeah, that sucks, man. 33,000 miles, but out of warranty. Dude. You know, if I bought another pickup, I'd buy it to race it out. I wouldn't buy it as a work truck. I've got too many trucks sitting around. I thought about getting another truck, getting rid of the Grand Marquis, and just putting the transmission in it and selling it at whatever somebody was going to offer me decent. With the body having 33,000 miles and the engine has 67,000 miles, but it's all new valve seals, timing chain, oil pan gasket, front cover gasket, valve cover gaskets, intake manifold gasket. It's the Ford Racing version of the intake manifold. It's got all new bolts and hardware and stuff throughout the entire engine. The exhaust manifolds and stuff are pristine. I thought about just slapping this transmission in there with that 3000 stall converter that's sitting right here. Being done with it, cleaning it all up, getting it back to its original looking shape with, you know, beefed up a little. With the axles and the HD locker and stuff like that. Fresh fluids and everything in it. Get it running real good up and down the road. And then turn around and stuff. Those cars with that mile, they're pulling about $7 grand to like 13 grand. The car's worth about 14.5 at full value. At that's what it was actually. State Farm actually told me when they paid me out on it before when it got hurt, but they didn't give me a salvage title. They let me keep the regular title because the body shop couldn't get the parts to fix it, and they got tired of it sitting in the body shop's lot. So they were like, "Look, we're just going to pay you out on the vehicle. You're going to lose about $1,500 because of processing fees and scrap fees that we're going to lose and all this other crap. So you'll end up getting like 12.5 out of the whole thing or 13 out of the whole thing." So that's what was deposited into my account. So I actually have the car. I paid for the car $4,500, and then State Farm turned around and paid me 3 times the value of what I paid for it. So its car's already paid for itself. So when I sell this car, I'm probably going to be a little more lenient on what I sell it for, just because I've made so much money on the car already. I've lost some on performance parts that I've sold as well, but not a ton. But I think if I sell the Grand Marquis, I'm probably not going to go less than like 9 for it, just because the car's in such great shape. It does have a fresh motor. The trans has only got 66,000 miles on it. The rear end is built. All the brakes and stuff will be gone through and done. I'll probably ask like 12.5 for it and see if somebody wants to come down a little. As long as they're close to my final number, I'll sell the car. But I may not even sell it. And I was going to take that money, and there is a 15 F-150 with 26,000 miles on it. 27,000 miles on it, something like that locally. The guy's had up for a while, and nobody wants to pay him his price. And he's only asking like $25,000 for the truck. And it's a short wheelbase, single cab, 5-liter Coyote, 2-wheel drive with a 6R80. And it's that like Sonic looking blue from Ford. It's already been dropped down a couple inches. It's got the nice Ford Performance rims and stuff on it. And the thing just looks absolutely amazing. Just a sexy looking truck. It just blows any Chevy or Dodge that I've seen away. It looks like a main street truck. And then at work, I saw the paint vendor. He pulled up in one. He pulled up in a newer model that was lowered with the nice performance rims and stuff on it, and it sounded just amazing. And he said, "Yeah, it's a built. It's got some cams, it's tuned, E85, 355 or 373 gear set in the rear end." And he said it's got a better locker. It's got a locker and stuff in it now, and beefed up axles. And he said this thing, it shits and gets. It just absolutely shits all over LS or Chevy trucks and Dodge trucks. And he said it's a lightning bolt, but it's the 10-speed. I was looking for a Miata and came across a Mazda 3. Never owned a Mazda before. There's a dude at the dealership near me that has a Mazda 3. It's like a Mazda 3, or I don't know if it's a Mazda. I think it's a Mazda 3 Turbo. He's got some little upgrades and stuff, but he's such a douche canoe, man. He like drives around with his hood off and his front bumper off and stuff, and he wants everybody to see his intercooler and his smokestack, or the turbo, like the exhaust plumbed out the hood, and it's so like put offish. This guy just makes me like every time I see him revving it up just aimlessly just because he thinks he's so cool. It's like, shut up, man. Like at some point you got to grow up. If you might have a nice car, but you basically just ruined it for people that have respect for you. Like we can look at it and we can hear it and tell that it's probably a really fast car. It's a nice car, and you take pride in it. We don't need to hear you revving it up every time you get a chance because it sounds like absolute dog shit. So it's kind of like every time I see these Mazdas now, I think about this annoying ass kid that's revving his car up all the time at work. Would you buy a used Hummer or Humvee in 2025? Like an actual Humvee? Yes. But the plasticky remake stuff that GM did? No. Absolutely not. I'd run as far as I possibly can. What's some good years of Mustangs to own? 2011 and up. They were all pretty solid. They didn't really have all the issues that the F-150s had. If you're looking to make some decent power and not break the bank, a 2011 to like 2014 Mustang is more than what you don't need anything more than that. It's an absolutely phenomenal vehicle. Anything newer, you're obviously getting a huge benefit by getting something newer because even the 10 speeds in the Mustangs didn't have all the issues that the truck had. So anything from 2011 up is an awesome plan. I got a buddy that's got a 14. He's got a 14 with fuel system done, Pro Charger. I've got it on the channel here. It's only got like 30 or 40,000 miles on it. Makes like 800 horsepower. And this thing is just absolutely insanely fun, but it's scary at the same time. You got to be careful because even me, just spirited, just getting on it as I work on the car and stuff and making adjustments and things to fix this car for him. It scares me driving the car because it makes so much power and it's so light that if you just make one little wrong move, that thing will flip sideways like easy right into a curb. So I let him do all the driving, the crazy driving, because he's experienced with the car way more than me. But the way he drives this car, I watched him one day. He backed up outside of work and he backed up down the little side street and he said, watch this. He backs up down the side street and he just let that son of a gun eat. And it screams, man. Wah, 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 wah. And he just wouldn't stop. He just hammered it, and it wouldn't quit. It was, not only did it look like a rocket while burning out and leaving rubber all the way down the street, while it was moving that fast, it was still lighting the tires up and leaving rubber strips all down the street. And I was like, oh my gosh, man. That thing is insane. So anything from a 2011 and up, and I think he upgraded like the sprocket for the timing chains, because he said that was a weak point, or he planned on it in the future. But he was like, if you turn the boost down a little bit, you cut it at like 600 horsepower or something like that, 700 horsepower, you probably won't have all the issues that some of these guys are trying to push 800 horsepower plus with the front, chain sprocket and stuff stripping out. it'll be fine. Just service the transmission, service the diff fluid more because you are going to be beating on it. You know you are. And just have fun. '06 Trailblazer, 85,000, one owner. Paid 500. Old man was tired. Was using a Dorman. I had a OE rebuilt. 0 issues on 10.5. Wow, nice. That scared me. What do you think of the emissions rollback on CAFE rules? Do you think it will really lower car prices? I sure hope so, man. I sure hope. That's, Negan, that could be huge, man. That could be huge for car manufacturers to, like, take the cuffs off and let them build a car that's freaking reliable. Let them build a car that we don't have to be in the dealership every freaking 10,000 miles with a new problem. Emissions has caused so many issues with new vehicles. They've caused engine failure after engine failure after engine failure, and a lot of these companies still don't have it ironed out. Roll back the regulations on it. I 100% agree with that. Stop making people spend half of their life in the dealership trying to purchase new vehicles that aren't worth $50,000, $60,000 for basic vehicles, and let them actually enjoy them. What? Come on. I got motion lights in here. I should turn the motion off. I'm not even into hatchbacks or front wheel drive vehicles, but this thing, 500, yeah, it's definitely tempting. At that price, 550 horsepower seems like it'd be pretty worth it. What do you think of the 3.5 liter Toyota Tacoma engine transmission? I love it. I think it's great. Probably one of the most reliable, best platforms put out when taken care of. Took our 04 Marauder and drove it to North Carolina after we refreshed everything in it. He said driving it was so nice because it's so comfortable, yet it will giddy up when you need it to. Absolutely. You're driving a freaking Cobra on a luxury platform or a couch riding down the street, man. It's like you've got the performance of one of the best performance cars ever sitting under the hood, while having the luxury of one of the best luxury cars that you're sitting in going down the road. You can't beat that. I mean, just having a 300 and some, or having a 300 horse engine in an old Grand Marquis, basically, with some upgraded parts. Who wouldn't want that? I would love to put my hands on a Marauder. I've seen so many of them popping up at reasonable prices lately. The Marauders have come down in price quite a bit. They were up there for a while, but if you notice, the other line of the Panther platform has skyrocketed while the Marauder has come down some. You can find a lot of these with 100,000 miles on them for like $7,000, $8,000 now. They used to want $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 plus. Now a lot of these that are in decent shape, they're not asking that anymore. A lot of these guys have come down to a more reasonable price. I like the ProCharger setup in the Mustangs, and I don't know why. I've driven the supercharged ones, you know, like the RS3 package. I don't know if you know what that is or not, but it's like that. It's like the Stage 3 package from Roush. I've driven them. They are insane to drive. The power con real nice for sure. But for some reason, when I drive those Mustangs and they have a ProCharger on them versus like a Whipple or something like that, the ProCharger just feels like it's so much different. It comes on nice and smooth and hard, and then it's like, bam, it's there. So not only you get the performance out of the hole, once you get it up to RPM, it's ridiculous how these things take off. Versus a supercharger, it's like instant, but to me it almost doesn't seem as fun. I like the best of both worlds, like a turbo and a supercharger mixed, and you come up with a ProCharger that is absolutely insane. I love the way ProChargers perform. They're easy to maintain. They're easy to swap out. You're not pulling half the car apart to do it. It just seems like the best bang for your buck overall when it comes to making cheap power. It's reliable. And what was it? There was something else I wanted to. Oh, you know, do you guys, anybody here drive a 2.7 EcoBoost like in an F-150 pre 2018 or whatever it was when they had the plastic oil pans that were like on national back order? don't know if you guys remember years ago when I made that video, a customer came in and it says, yeah, you can't even get this oil pan at all from any Ford dealer, any manufacturer. Nobody makes this oil pan. It's just completely national back order, not available. I don't know if you guys remember that video when a customer came in and I tried to, I diagnosed it as the oil pan leak and it needed to be replaced, and the customer said go ahead and do it, and we couldn't even get an oil pan. And do any of you know anybody, or you know what I'm talking about with that setup? Newer Kia Sorento base engine versus the turbo with the dual clutch. I don't really have too much of an opinion on the newer Kia and Hyundai stuff. To be honest with you, I think the new Kia and Hyundai stuff, it looks a lot better than what it used to, and I'm hearing a lot of really good things about it. So I don't really. Are you sure it's a 2017 with a 10-speed? Oh, you said 2018. Sorry, I thought you said 2017. I was gonna say, didn't 2017, wasn't that just the 3.5 only that got the 10-speed? I didn't think. Yeah, okay, I got it. You're right. 2018 did have it. I misread your comment. Well, Dorman actually reached out to me. Let's unbox a couple things. Well, I want to work out too, man, because I know the family's got to get up soon and get out of here. Okay, so let me cover this real quick. Dorman, for the Explorers, like the 2011 to 2019 Explorers, where like the A-pillars would break off and go flying down the highway and stuff like that, or they would literally start lifting off the car where the plastic tabs that go through the A-pillars would break. Yeah, that's it, Mike. So Dorman actually makes the kit now that's substantially less than the dealer. And when you order the right side or the passenger side, you get the whole entire piece, outer skirt and inner skirt. Both of those, you get the skeleton frame inside that bolts to the vehicle, and then you get the outer piece that bolts to that. So you can actually get it at an extremely affordable price, and it's actually better than the OE stuff. That's what Dorman has really been emphasizing lately is like they're focusing on making the OE product but better. Or equivalent, let's just put it that way, not worse. A lot of people had problems with the electronics, but they're even stepping up the game for the last few years in the electronics making as well. Well, I actually reached out to Dorman recently and said, hey, can you send me a set of those Explorer external A-pillar pieces? I've got them sitting over here on the shelf. There's 2 long boxes right there. Those are the new upgraded exterior pieces, even though there is a recall on those and you can get them replaced through Ford. If somebody wanted to not go through Ford to do it and do their own, they actually make a set for right and left, and they give you the inside piece and the outside piece. Here's something else they've done. Recently, I posted a kind of back to the past, or like a flashback to the past, just like Mike was saying right here. That's exactly what happened. Cleaned it all up, tried sourcing it from everywhere, but it was nowhere to be found at the time. It's exactly what happened. I couldn't find an oil pan anywhere. So recently I posted that video as a kind of like a flashback, and then, hey, go check this link out. But Dorman, like a month ago, has finally released an actual aluminum pan that replaces the OE one that keeps going on back order or not available. And I know somebody said there's other companies as well. I don't really trust a lot of the aftermarket companies, but when it comes to Dorman, they do put out a good product, and they really have been working on their quality the last few years and putting a lot of emphasis on trying to make the consumer happy. Now they have an affordable, available aluminum pan that mimics the OE one, and it's just looks great, looks amazing. And I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm actually going to do a video on that soon. I asked them, can they send me a product? Can they send me an oil pan? So I can actually pull it out of the box, flip it around, show you guys the inside, the quality of it and stuff like that, so we can actually take a look at this thing and see what it is that you're going to be purchasing. And I can put a dedicated video out for the 2.7 liter EcoBoost guys that are going to be doing that stuff, guys and gals. And then I also want to do a dedicated video on the A-pillar external parts, so I can show you guys the quality and what you actually get in the kit when you purchase it. So when you do make that purchase, you're informed at a different level than just looking at some picture on the internet. I would do it right now, but my daughter has got some stuff to do this morning. She's got some testing and stuff to do, and I know my wife is probably going to wake up soon and ask me to come help with the baby and stuff while they're getting her ready because she's got to do some high school placement testing. I want to work out a little bit before that gets here. I don't know if you guys want to be here for that or not and talk, but I'm going to focus on trying to do, I've got some shoulder issues that I'm trying to work out, and I found some new exercises that actually focus on the shoulder areas. And I ordered some new dumbbells that are adjustable that you can change the different sizes, and I want to work a little bit on that. It's these here. These 55-pound dumbbells. I'm surprised I was even able to curl that. Oh, I guess I am getting stronger. I don't know that I've ever been able to curl a 55-pound dumbbell. What about left-handed? Okay. Okay. Oh, I haven't tried that. It's been a long. That surprised me. I mean, it wasn't perfect form, but I was barely messing it up, so I gotta pat myself on the back for that one. The knees are doing great, especially since all the weight loss so far. I mean, guys, my belly used to push into the front of the shirt. You know, I still am working on some areas. When I used to grab the fat that was around my chest, I used to have to grab like this. But now I can do it with my fingertips where some of it, or most of it's gone. So I'm starting to notice that that's even getting tighter and shrinking. These are just 15-pound. I unclip the weights from it. The reason I do that is because they don't recommend going heavy when you're doing these exercises to fix the rotator cuff. So basically what they want you to do is movements like this where you do like a hammer curl, but then you go out and you come back. But you try not to move the elbow as best as possible. And it works that joint where the rotator cuff is. And they don't want you using heavy weight. It said like 10, 15 pounds max. And you just sit there and you fan your arms out, but you don't try to move your elbow. And that works that joint and stuff where the cuff is at, where you're getting your pain, and it starts making it stronger. And you only need to do like sets of 10 to 12. Oh man, I feel that. It's on fire. See, I never even thought to do workouts like this. Oh. Oh, that really feels weird. I never do stuff like this. And then they want you to do like a movement where it's here, and you go down, and then you go up. You rotate the arm. You're not trying to work other muscles. You're only working the muscles that attach to the rotator cuff. I don't even know how many I've done so far. Oh, I feel it. I'm starting to drop my arm too, because I feel it. See, I know a lot of pitchers. They do exercises like this to protect their shoulders, so when they're out there pitching, they don't end up getting injuries. This burns. It works. You can tell where you're weak at, especially when you're doing something light like this and you already feel it. Oh, I feel that. And then there was another one where you keep the dumbbells out by your side and you flare back. And you just try to go straight back with very little shoulder like shrug movement. You lift back as far as you can. And it works the rear part of the joint. Oh man, this is going to be a workout in itself. This is actually difficult because I don't do stuff like this. I need to start doing stuff like this, like accessory work to protect all those joints. Oh, that's tough. That's really tough. You can tell I've lost weight by my face. Yeah, it's gotten way skinnier than what it was. I just, you know what? And I was very negative to a lot of you guys that were expressing concern over the years of like, hey man, we notice something's changing in you. You got to kind of focus on your health and you're not really doing it. And I was really negative towards you guys because I was insecure with myself. And you know what they say, hurt people hurt people. And when I was being told the truth by you guys, I didn't want to accept it and I didn't want to hear it. So when I would push back and then you guys would push back, sometimes you guys would get offended by the things that I would say, which I was wrong for. And I just never listened until it was almost too late and I ended up with a stroke in the hospital or dead. So, you know, about 4 months ago, everything changed my life when I went to the doctor and my blood pressure was 150/80. That was a huge wake-up call for me. And when my labs came back that I was a pre-diabetic at 5.8, I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm basically, in my mind, I'm gonna die and I won't be here for my kids. I won't be here for my wife. And that would hurt me more than anything. I would think that it would hurt me more than anything. I don't know how I'm gonna feel when I'm dead, but I figured I gotta do something. And I've been doing it for the last four months plus. I've been checking in with you guys. I've been staying accountable, and there's been probably 100 people so far that have been following my journey that said because they've seen me change my life, now they're changing their life as it's inspiration to them. Men from all over the place that have lost 25, 30, 40 pounds already that are following the same process that I am, that use my morning videos as accountability to like remember that you're not bulletproof, that you, when you get old you do have to do more activity than you did when you were younger. You do have to really take care of yourself if you're going to be there for your family regardless of what your situation is. So I've had a lot of people telling me that they use these morning check-ins and my path of change for the better as inspiration for them to change their life and actually become more healthier as well. And actually quite a few technicians on here said that they didn't want to come clean about it, but they're also doing the same thing and they feel so much better since my whole journey started, and it kind of helped push them to start their journey. So that's where I am, just here to kind of witness to you guys and just be accountable to you guys and my family and show you that you can do it. You can do it. If you're not going to do it for yourself, which should be the most important, and that's not to me. Myself is not the most important, I can tell you that. It's my family. And it basically got to a point where I had to realize that it's not for me. Even though it should be, it's not. So I can see my family be happy and prosper and make sure that they're okay. And in turn, I've learned to love myself and respect myself more and understand that it is for me. But it's because of them that I'm doing it. Okay, let's do this again. do a couple sets of these, and then I think go inside for a little bit, see if they need help with anything, getting ready to go to this test placement at the school. Oh, man, this is hard. It burns. Good morning. Good morning, wifey. I'm about to come in. I know you might need help with the baby before you guys go to school, so I'm trying to get these last few sets done, and I'm going to come in and help you. I've been cleaning the garage and getting recycling ready to go out because there was a freaking huge pile of boxes out here, but it's all taken care of now. And I tried to clean up the garage some. I appreciate that, Mr. K. I appreciate that. All right, so what was? Oh yeah, it's this one. Need to leave in 10 minutes. She's still asleep. Want me to wake her up? Wake who up? Annabelle? Bias. Is it bias? Is that how you say it? Have a great weekend, Mr. K. No, I'll come in there. Just I'll take advantage of the 10 minutes and I'll come in there right when you're trying to leave, just so I can get these last few done and get everything shut down in the garage. My shoulders have been hurting me, so I'm doing like the shoulder workouts that were recommended. Oh, Dallas? So is it Palace? Is that like your last name? No, you can leave her sleep. I'll just come jump back in bed with her if you want. I don't know if she's downstairs or if she's upstairs. I'll be all right. Woo! Jeez. All right, I'll just go upstairs with her. So you don't mind if I call you Palace then whenever you're on here? Oh, God. Let's see if I can do both at the same time. I'm not sure if I can. Oh, God. These hurt. If you guys have a light weight around the house, try doing these. They hurt. They don't hurt, but you actually feel it working. Oh, God. All right, guys, I'm gonna shut it down and go inside with the baby so my wife and my teenager, my wife and my daughter can get their day started. She's got an important morning ahead of her, where she is gonna go take placement testing for high school, and she's stressed out. She's a little nervous. I wish her luck, please. We could use it, and I'm sure she'll do great. But he'll give me enough time to go in, get another cup of coffee, because that one was kind of cold, and then jump back in bed with the little angel and enjoy her. Cuddle up with my little twin. Man, she was attached to me last night. She would go to mom and she would go to her sister and she would just scream and cry. And it's not that she doesn't like them. She loves them. She loves them to death, especially mom. She wants to be attached to her all the time. But last night, she wanted me. Me. I'm cutting the dog's nails. I'm trimming up their nails and getting them nice and, manicured, pedicured, whatever you want to call it. And she's standing behind me trying to pull my pants down while she's behind me because she's trying to climb up me. Mom would pick her up so I could focus on cutting the dog's nails, and she'd start screaming again because she wanted to be touching me. She wanted to be with me. I love it. As soon as I came home last night, she tried to figure out what the sound was, and I came in the back door, and she peeked her head up over mom's leg where she was playing on the floor. And she said, "Nope, I'm going to dad." She went going. "Come here, pick me up." And then she does the thing where she bites my shoulders in the corner, or she'll nudge me if her pacifier, and she'll just bury her face in my shoulders on each side. And yeah, she's something else, man. I never experienced that in my life. So I love it. I love being a dad. I love being a girl dad. I wanted a boy, but I don't think I actually wanted a boy. I didn't know what I wanted, I guess. Okay, I'm going back in. I hope you guys have a great morning. The heater's cut off. It's cooled down. I'm clear to go. So, I love that age. Wife and I had twins, now 24. Oh, wow, man. Time flies, huh? I looked at her. I looked at pictures, like last month of when she was first born, and she could sit in the center of my chest, and she would just be in between my pecs, and I could just sit there and caress her, and she'd sit there and she would make those she would coo and make all kinds of noises, and it was like the most beautiful thing ever. And then now she's jumping on top of me, hammering me in the head, looking at me like, "Are you gonna laugh?" And I'll laugh whenever she taps me in the head, and she's like, "I'm gonna do it harder, I'm gonna do it harder." And then she takes her head and she headbutts me, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go harder," and then harder, until she's like, "Okay, that's a little too hard." She's a little daredevil. And now she's like, it's not the same little ball of love that was in between my chest when she first came out. And I mean, she's still the same, but you can see how their personalities changed, and how they engage with you and love you, and how they get along with different people. And it's amazing to watch it all happen. Okay, so I'm going inside. Be blessed, guys. Love y'all.